Lexi in Oklahoma. And yeah, so we're talking about leaving Jehovah's Witnesses. Welcome, Lexi.
Hi. Yes, so I'm a recently deconverted former Jehovah's Witness. My husband's an atheist and a big fan of the show. He says he was really excited that I'm getting to talk to you two in particular.
Oh, great.
But, so basically he feels like I'm an atheist, but I don't know if that label really applies because I think I go back and forth too much in my head. Like Jehovah's Witnesses constantly talked about the end of the world, and I feel like it doesn't make sense that they've been wrong so many times, and that feels like enough for me to think that they're going to keep being wrong. But at the same time, it's still, sometimes I feel like the end of the world is still right around the corner, like they always say. And I'm just like kind of having trouble figuring out how to like navigate away from the feelings and focus on what's true.
Good for you. Well, first of all, congratulations, because it is difficult. I said earlier to an earlier caller, it's difficult to get out of Pentecostalism. And I'm telling you, it's even more difficult to get out of Jehovah's Witnesses. So you've done a massive step and you've done a great favor for yourself, I'm sure. Also, we have a very big community of ex-JWs at Recovery from Religion. Chat in with us and ask to join our group. And we've got all sorts of resources for ex-JWs because you guys are really, they really go at you when you're children. And that's, how long were you in the JWs, Lexi?
I stopped going to meetings in 2019. So like, I feel like my last meet, or maybe 2020, my last meeting was like right before the pandemic started.
Oh, okay. Okay. And you were raised in it?
Yeah, my whole life.
Okay. Okay. Well, first of all, let's just say, don't worry about a label for yourself. I don't care if you call yourself an atheist, an agnostic, a Christian, a Hindu, a Buddhist. I don't care. It's irrelevant. I'm concerned about you living your best life. And part of that best life is getting rid of the indoctrination, fear of hell, fear of Armageddon, those kinds of things that came from your upbringing. And that's really where I would focus. You know, it doesn't matter if you're an atheist. It doesn't matter if you're an agnostic or whatever. What matters is that you find your path, your journey. And there's a lot of stuff you could read and think about. But let me tell you this. And when you were 3 years old, what language were you learning?
English.
You were learning English. Okay. Did you stop and ask your parents, why aren't you teaching me Chinese?
No.
And it never occurred to you, did it? Well, at the same time, they were teaching you JW theology, weren't they?
Yes.
Why didn't you stop them and say, hey, why aren't you teaching me about Buddhists?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. So what happened to you was you were unintentionally, without any consent on your part, you were forced into an ideology, and you were given no choices in that ideology. They didn't give you a Catholic, so they didn't give you the buffet and say, here's the Catholic, here's the Buddhist, here's the Hindu, here's the Muslim, which one do you want? No, they just said, this is going to be yours, whether you like it or not. So when you do that to a child, it's like English. You probably couldn't unlearn English, and you probably have a hard time unlearning English. Well, you're going to have a hard time unlearning JW because it's like a language. It's put into your brain. But here's the good news. There are ways to do it, and you can do it. You've already done a huge service to yourself by getting out. So I would encourage you to go explore, get some resources, chat in Recovering from Religion, and talk to some of our people. They can hook you up with all sorts of JWs that will have even more resources. And oh, by the way, one of our biggest groups is in Sydney, Australia, and it's about 80% Jehovah's Witnesses, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. And you can tune in to their meetings. They meet, I think, every 2 weeks on Saturday. And you can talk to 20, 30 other ex-JWs with one of our volunteers there. Anyway, I didn't mean to hijack it too much here. Matt, what's your thoughts?
Oh, no, I don't know that I have much to add. I'm in agreement. I tell you, Lexi, I did a video once for my Atheist Debates project. It doesn't matter to me what you call yourself. Unlike some atheists, I'm not like, oh, you better call yourself an atheist or you're just some kind of coward. No. You use whatever label is comfortable for you. I think that most people who are atheists eventually get to the point where they're comfortable with the label, unless there's some other sticking point that they weren't aware of. But you're doing great, and don't beat yourself up. You get where you're going in your time and on your terms. And I think it's already impressive that you've kind of found your way out and are asking the questions. Sometimes by the time somebody gets to the point where they call in and they ask me a particular question, the mere fact that they're asking the question shows that there's nothing to worry about. It's like, I've had people call and say, how do I make sure I'm not going to indoctrinate and ruin my kids? Well, I'm pretty sure the fact that you asked that question suggests that you're not going to.
Yeah, very much so.
No, it's really nice to hear that. I've never really, like you said, I've never really had to think about why I believe anything that I believed before. So I guess it is good to just like reach out and hear more about how to get away from that.
Right. And there's plenty of opportunities with various, not only the resources that Darrel pointed you to and Recovering from Religion, but there's the ACA Discord, the fan run Discord, stuff like that. Right. There's lots of different places just to interact a little bit, but I cannot stress the importance of having a community of people to interact with, but also just having a couple people who are close to you that you can confide in and speak openly and talk without fear of somebody, losing their shit. That's important.
Right. So take care of yourself, Lexi. You're on the right path, and don't let anybody tell you what path to take. And always remember, if what you said earlier was a little bit interesting, you're afraid you go back and forth. Well, you're not alone. Almost everybody goes back and forth when they first leave any religion. I see Muslims going back and forth. I know somebody who reconverted to Muslim twice over a course of 20 years before they finally said, okay, I'm out. So it's a normal thing. It's like your security blanket. You were raised in this security blanket. As terrible as the blanket was, it still made you feel comfortable to some degree, even though now you know it's not true. So just take care of yourself, go your own path. And if you go back and forth on things, that's perfectly normal. Again, talk to one of our our volunteers that Recover from Religion. They will help you find all sorts of other people who go through the same thing every day. They go back and forth.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really, just thank you so much.
You're welcome. Lexi. Good luck, Lexi.
We'll talk to you later. Call back in. Let us know if as things improve or what you find some comfort with.